good afternoon, everyone. This is Hand from Above and his new caster buddy, Nursky.
How's it going, guys?
Bringing you a VP Gamers Clan War versus Tactical Gaming. We have game one here, which is going to be Jay Jing, which is the Tactical Gaming guy. And we have Race. I'm not going to annihilate his name, even though I think it's a Race Annihilator, but we're just going to call him Race during the whole cast. He is VP Gamers. So, Nursky, what do we got here?
Well, this is going to be on the map Shattered Temple. This is a newer map. We do have close position spawning. I'm going to bring up the nameplates and the production key for everybody right now. In these positions, typically you would expect some kind of an early push from Protoss, something either like a 3-gate pressure into an expand. Could see some kind of a 5-gate or a 6-gate play. Race is definitely going to want to play a lot safer on a map such as this, because if he does anything too economically oriented, it could definitely spell a lot of trouble for him.
So you think maybe some roaches, early roach pressure, something like that?
I would definitely prefer some kind of early roaches on this map. I'm definitely going to have to be ready for a 4-gate or something of that nature. The rush distance is so short that you gotta just be really careful. People used to complain about Steps of War. The rush distance on this map in close positions is actually quite a bit shorter, so you gotta be really careful for that.
Well, yeah, and I think Race figured it out. He had sent his OV over to the far side to see if it was on, I'd say, next positions, but it's not. So he now knows, because of the quick scout, where Ji Jang is going to be, or J Jang. And he already has his spawning pool going down. So, yeah, 14 spawning, 14 gassed. So yeah. I think he's going with what you said, and probably do some early pressure.
Yeah, Race probably isn't going to be able to apply a lot of early pressure, but he definitely wants to get speed outs a lot sooner. Definitely no later than sometime in the early 20s supply, but it looks like he's going to go for the fast speedling opening, which I do think is a really good way to go. Protoss already has a probe over at his natural, so he's going to be able to block off any attempts of natural to get to the expand to his natural before he's got lings up.
Yeah, he's got the dancing probe. Who doesn't love a good dancing probe? Anyways, so we got this coming out. Here comes the 6 lings, pretty standard. Cybercore went down, but it's kind of a different wall-off, I guess. It's going to be a long wall-off for the Protoss.
Yeah, this is actually becoming a lot more popular lately. You set up kind of a tunnel, so to speak, for your wall-off. It prevents extra lings from attacking, so you can only actually attack with 2 lings. If you set up the wall wrong, you can actually end up having 4 of the lings attack the Zealot, and then you actually have a problem because the lings can actually break the Zealot and force you to either warp in another Zealot, or you can actually sometimes have run-bys. So having like the tunnel-style wall-off is actually becoming a lot more popular.
Very cool, but we do have Race taking his expo, so while we did say early pressure, he still wants to get that, up and running so he can keep up with the Protoss, because one-base Protoss is pretty beastly at times.
Yeah, Zerg is always going to need to get that expansion up. It's just good the way he's doing it because he's able to get the ling speed up. Typically, which is not quite what he did, you would pull all your drones off of gas after you go to expand and you start your speed. He's leaving 1 on gas, which is a little bit unorthodox, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out and what he ends up trying to use this gas for.
Protoss definitely looks like he's going to 3-gate, maybe some pressure into expand. I haven't seen the 4th gate go down yet. Trying to look for it. Here comes Ovi gonna scout this all out. So Ovi the Overlord definitely paying off here for Race, because he does see the double gate.
Yeah, he does see the 2 gateways going up, so he'll know that he's only added 2 gates so far. Not really any super great places to hide a gate on this particular map. The bases are fairly small. Stalker's definitely going to pick off this Overlord right here, so Overlord's going to see the Stalker, going to see the Sentry. He'll know he's probably expanding. Should start droning up here. No, we actually have a little bit of trapping at the front.
Yep, they tried to do a little run-by and get everyone past it, but I guess not.
Yeah, you got to be really careful when you're poking up the ramp because you don't want to get your lings trapped by the Sentries, because that's basically what Protoss is looking to do at this point in the game. They want to trap the lings with the Sentries on the ramp if possible right before they expand.
Is the Protoss going out to scout again, or is he going to try for some shenanigans?
Could be going forward to place a forward pylon. Based on the fact that he's moving further forward, I think he just wants to scout what Race is doing, decide if he actually wants to try and pressure him. Yeah.
So he will see Race is going with the Roach Warren, which is always respectable, especially in close positions.
Yeah, Roach Warren's definitely going to be a good idea. He does have his lair started now. I do like what he's doing right now. You get your lair out. You get roaches. You get burrow. Sometimes people go for roach speed. Sometimes lately they've been going for the tunneling claws instead. But definitely a good idea because I would definitely more likely than not for Protoss expect some kind of a 5 or 6 gate pressure before they would try and go to Robo in these positions.
Now let's just go over the format while everything's going on. This is not the normal King of the Hill format. This is every player's going to play one game, and the team with the total amount of wins, I guess, at the end.
Yeah,
So,
and interestingly enough, he actually canceled his Roach Warren while you were explaining that to everybody, and is instead going to be getting the +1 melee attack for Lings.
so is he trying to do like a +1 Ling?
I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see what he does when the layer goes up, but he could be trying to go for a Ling Infestor play, which I think might actually be a mistake in these positions. It's kind of like same concept as trying to hold a 5 or 6 gate with Hydras. It's really hard to get enough Hydras out in time to actually hold the pressure. So
And it looks like he's busting down the side rocks here, so he wants to take his third Expo, which could be really risky being right next to said Protoss army.
yeah, and JJ's adding another 3 gateways right now, so he is actually going up to 6 gateways. So I'm completely expecting some kind of 6 gateway pressure. Probably going to try and sync it up actually with the +1 weapon attacks. So we'll be seeing a +1 weapon attack plus 6 gateway push, probably coming sometime in the not too distant future. I'd assume just shortly after the ground weapons level 1 finishes up.
I'm going to just punt in here. I don't like the placement of these 2 pylons. And the down low, because he's powering gateways up top off a pylon down low.
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad because he does have a pretty sturdy wall up at his front. He's got his sentries up there. He's got the zealots and the stalkers. So it'd be pretty hard for Zerg to push into that right now. He doesn't have great vision of what the Zerg's up to right now, but I think he's going to be pleasantly surprised when he sees that Race just has a handful of Lings really guarding his front and only 2 spine crawlers.
And you are right, we have the infestation pit down, so definitely he's going for the infestor Ling build, which with the Protoss pushing off now, this is not... Oh look, he's trying to do a little run by.
Oh, and he just now force fielded the ramp. That is going to be a huge problem for the Zerg as the Protoss pushes in here. He's not going to be able to reinforce. Has hardly any forces actually anywhere near his natural. He's actually lost all those Lings already. Only a handful of Lings just now spawning. Queen's going to go down.
Oh, Queen's definitely done. Yeah, this is a big Protoss army with a lot of sentry. These sentries have enough energy to force field that ramp for a while. The only downside is the Protoss doesn't have any vision, so the drones are all burrowed here, and so are Lings. And
yeah, that's going to definitely help Race to potentially stay in the game, but right now in the position that he's in, he's actually going to have a really tough time getting anything done from here. One base Zerg just doesn't have the production ability to keep up with this amount of production that Protoss is going to be pumping out. Protoss is still building probes though, so definitely not going completely all in with this push, but I definitely would not see him backing up until Race can somehow try and actually get pushed back.
yeah, here comes some infestors. So
Yeah, and he's definitely going to need to get those infestors out if he wants any chance at all to hold this. This is going to be really troublesome for Race. JJang's already moving up though to check and see if he has a third, so it's going to buy him a little bit of time. But if he can't get these infestors out before this army pushes in, he's going to be in a big trouble. He's probably going to want to actually pull those Lings back if JJang does decide to push up the ramp, which it looks like he is about to do right now. Infestors are out, so he will have a chance to hold this potentially. Does need to get those sentries though.
he does fungal growth, and yeah, that's not going to be enough. Sorry to say, fungal growth on some sentries, while it didn't hurt him a ton, Race has to GG because that Protoss death ball of an army will damage that base very well. So unfortunately, Race downs it, so VP is down 0-1 now after game 1. And what do you think? How strong?
I think that Race might have had a chance to hold that. I think he kind of panicked a little bit actually and wasted some of those fungals. He kind of fungled. He had 4 infestors, so he had 4 fungal growths, and he kind of did the fungals a little too fast. Ended up not actually using them efficiently. Couldn't kill the sentries. Had he managed to back up and kind of just let the Protoss move a little bit back and forth and killed off the sentries, his Lings might have been able to clean it up, but I think he was really in a bad position. He got way too macro-oriented for the positions, and I think the decision to cancel the Roach Warren was actually his greatest downfall. I think he should have stuck with the Roaches with Burrow. Probably could have easily held it off. I think the Ling Infestor strategy would have been a lot better in a
if they were in cross position.
Cross or close here would have been much better, because then you can really abuse the mobility of the Lings, where in these positions, the mobility of Lings is kind of a moot point, because you can't really get around the army. Yeah, so...
Like Roaches, you're going to need something that's got a ton of armor and a ton of power.
Exactly. So, you need something sturdy.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Unfortunately, Race just lost the battle. I mean, that was... One big battle kind of decided it on Race's end, and that was it.
Yeah, definitely. So
let's get to game number 2, I think it is, right?
Yep, sounds good. We'll head over to game number 2 now.
And we'll see you guys there.